So we said that section 3.1 was for measures of central tendency. That's if we're measuring a quantitative variable. All of these variables are quantitative variables, and sometimes we might want to know where the middle of these variables is. For example, if we had a bunch of people in the room, we might want to know what height was about the middle height. And we talked about the mean as being one way to describe that middle. And we have another way to describe that middle, which we call the median. And the median of a variable is sometimes referred to as the geographic middle. It's the one that lies right in the middle of our data. So it's not the average, it's the one that's physically in the center, and that is if we arrange it in order. So we have to start with an ordered data set. Another way to talk about arranged in ascending order is sometimes referred to, you say you're starting out at the lowest value and you keep going and then you get to the highest value. And if we do that and find the middle, then we found the median. And sometimes we refer to that as the letter M. So like we said, if you want to find the median of a particular variable, really, like we said, you could find the median height or the median weight. You just can't find something that's a qualitative variable, like the color does not have a median, but weight and height do. So how do we find the median? Step one is to, like we said before, you want to put the data in order. And they're telling us to determine the number of observations, which is probably a good idea. And we're going to call that n. And just as a reminder, little n in this class is always going to refer to the size of our sample, the number of observations in our sample, the number of individual measurements we have in our sample. So once we know the size of the sample, we're going to figure out which one's in the middle. If you want to, you can follow these rules where if you know that the sample size is n, there are two possible spots for the median to be in. I don't use these. I think they're kind of unnecessarily confusing. There's some times in this class where they'll give us little formulas, but I don't really think the formulas are helpful. Essentially, all we're trying to do is find what's in the middle. So to find the median, we need to find the middle. And you'll notice that if you're trying to find the middle of something, there's really two possible ways to determine what exactly it means to be the middle. And the most obvious case is if the number of observations is odd. So if the number of observations is odd, then the median is just the data value that's exactly in the middle. So let's just do this for a small data set here. I'm going to have an odd number of observations, so let's have 7. So this is a pretty basic data set here, and we could say that n equals 7. We have 7 observations. So the first thing we need to do to find the median is to order them. Put them in order from least to greatest. So all I have to do now is see which one's right in the middle. So you'll notice the 6 obviously has 3 numbers above it and 3 numbers below it. So the 6 is our median for this little data set here. That's if we have an odd number of observations, we just find the number that's right in the middle. But you'll notice that we could have had an even number of observations. Let's take the same data set and just stick another number on there. So we'll get 8 observations. So okay, I've taken the exact same 7 numbers, I've stuck another 13 on there, and you'll notice that there isn't one single number that is right in the middle. So what I'm getting at here is that if you have an even number of observations, then all we need to do is take the mean. We're taking the average of the 2 observations that happen to be in the middle. So in this case, we have a 6 and an 8. Those are our 2 middle values. And since they share the middle, the median is going to be their average. So our median in this case is 7. And you'll notice that it doesn't actually appear as one of the values. And that's fine.